Well, the next speaker is somebody maybe a lot of you already know. Yeah.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
It's Yuri. Let me see. And I know him since 2006. And somehow we got connected again. Whoa, sorry.
Right.
Here, Yuri.
Thanks. Good to be back. Reconnect with Raimo.
Yeah, man.
Mobile Monday, June 2007. Same vibe. Okay, so I'm from different organizations. Terra Trended is my own company. I'm the ambassador of Singularity University by NASA and Google. Probably heard about it. And one part of it is 3D printing, of course, this university. And the next 15 minutes, if you don't mind, I'd like to share a few things I see in terms of do-it-yourself. Not only in 3D printing, but I think it's a big trend everywhere. So, what I see is the convergence of the bit world into the atomical world, 3D printing, makers, laser cutters, but also into the genes world and the neurons world. And that's interesting because all the stuff that you have learned in the last 20 years in terms of internet, mobile, IT, the tools, the insights, the evolution can be leveraged to a very large degree into the 3D printing world, the atomical world, but also into the gene and neural world. I will show you later on with some practical cases. And another insight is the big trends for the next 10 years, in my view, or 20 years, are do-it-yourself and peer-to-peer. Or, in other words, create and share. And why is this important? One of the key things is we will have a lot of unemployment, mass unemployment in the next 10 years. Why? Robocars. No cab drivers, no truck drivers, flying drones, delivering your pizza, other stuff. So there will be a lot of substitution and self-service concepts. So on the lower side, on the low end of the labor market, there will be a lot of unemployment. So do-it-yourself culture, maker culture, is very important to alleviate economical and socio-cultural issues going forward. It sounds a little bit awkward or crazy, but I think it's real. The civic society will be developed using these tools and communities. And there's another key insight in my view, and that is, let's see, okay, I've got this one. It's also a way to express yourself and also a way to show your dislike of incumbents and overhead. We all know the banks, the big corporations, the centralized systems, they are opening up, they are decentralizing. That's great. But young people, I speak to them everywhere across the globe. They are very unsatisfied right now. They don't like the overhead. They would like to cut out the bullshit. So what are you going to do? You're going to do it yourself, right? And that's what's happening right now across the globe, in my view. So do it yourself. Do it yourself sex, masturbation. Who is doing this? There are a lot of liars here. 90%. Okay. Do it yourself music. Aaron Blom is in the house, so think about the 80s, punk, right? The punk movement. Do it yourself. Right now it's crisis. They tell you it's crisis, but it's creative destruction. It's a new era coming, the singularity. But I think there are a lot of similarities between the 80s and the time of right now. Production. Skip this one. Before the break, shape waste, tech shop, easy. Robotics. Who knows about Baxter? Over there. It's an industrial robot for $20,000 that you can program like an iPhone. Very interesting stuff. As you probably know, the Foxconn, the maker of the iPhone, has substituted 1 million employees by 1 million robots. The Baxter is a next step into this field. A lot of mass unemployment due to AI and robotics. Over here you see a flying robot built by a guy who gave it to me at MIT for a few bucks. Let's say $70. It will become cheaper with the sensors in it. Carbon body, titanium wings. Here you have the Arduino or the drones. These are becoming cheaper every time. The next step is quantified self. So mobile health. Using sensors, nano-tattoo sensors, or open source functionality by MIT, or measuring your microbes, your microbiome, using different quantified self sensors and technologies. Do-it-yourself healthcare. Do-it-yourself sports, easy one. For 3D motion scanning, optimizing your performance. Do-it-yourself pharma. There are many solutions to this field. You can 3D print personalized pills, like in telemedicine or this solution, can computer. But I think the question you can ask in the future, is pharma still needed? I don't think so. So does Craig Venter in 20 years. Do-it-yourself water. I really love this case, Singularity University. It's called the Slingshot by Dean Kamen, one of the biggest inventors in the world. We don't need a water company anymore, or an energy company, or a bank. The centralized systems are over. You take some water from the sea, or intoxicated water, and you can filter it using nanofilters by yourself at home. You don't have to pay for anything. Do it yourself. Next one, food. Why pay for food? Recession, no money, no budget? Do it yourself. Mass unemployment. We're going into a world of abundance. We already are, to a very large degree. Water is solved, food, energy, education, healthcare, as you can see. Even climate change is solved. But we don't want to hear the solutions. We only want to talk and deepen ourselves into problems and crises and what have you. But the trends are clear. We are moving into a world of abundance. Check the book by Peter Diamandis. Top 5 of this year, Fortune, bestseller New York Times. You can read it for yourself. Abundance. Abundance of drinks, beer. Do it yourself. Here you go. Abundance of flows. Abundance of cities. Everything becomes an open platform, an open API. Objects, cities, bodies, subjects. That means everything will become open, dynamic, and interactive. So you come into a city, and you can customize the city according to your own needs and wishes and wants. It sounds crazy, but architects are building these platforms right now across the world. Do-it-yourself biotechnology. You can read out your DNA sequence, that's easy, but you can also connect it to different other biomedical sensors, or quantified self sensors. So you can optimize the expression of your DNA based on your lifestyle, sports, food, what have you. You can also create open PCR DNA sequences, so it's all off the shelf for a few $100. You don't have to buy expensive commercial DNA sequencing stuff. Do-it-yourself neurotechnology, neuroprofiling. You can read out your brain, that's easy. Functional MRI scans, EEG sensor, just like the speaker before the break. But you can also use actuators to influence your brain. It's the next episode, next phase. Using EEG sensors, so you can create a state of flow, improve learning. That's the next step. Also do it yourself, brain stimulation. Do it yourself energy. I would say the biggest shift of this slide deck. Alta devices in beta. The smallest solar cell in the world. The most efficient solar cell in the world as well. This will be a big concern to Shell. A very big concern. It will decentralize energy and production processes and manufacturing. This is more cost competitive than coal and oil. Gas is an issue because there's an abundance right now, as you probably know, in the US. But even long term, this will win out. Big time. Do-it-yourself education. Why pay $50,000 or euros for a very much outdated educational system in Holland? Why? You can do it for free using MIT, Harvard, and Stanford. You have higher quality, no cost, and it's on demand. Who's going to win? I would like to know this from you after this session. Check out Udacity, Coursera, edX, MIT, Harvard, Khan Academy, Show Me apps. People do it themselves. Do-it-yourself publishing, that's easy. Lulu, create your own book, be your own publisher. Do-it-yourself retail, Etsy and eBay. I see a pattern here. Do-it-yourself and peer-to-peer. Do-it-yourself finance and banking, as shown before. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Simbit in Holland. Do-it-yourself insurance. People use collectives, peer-to-peer, without any insurance company. Interesting. ING, Delta Lloyd, a lot of layoffs. Why is that? It will intensify. This is the reason. No overhead, no bullshit. Do-it-yourself real estate, hotels. Going down. couchsurfing, Airbnb, bye bye. Do-it-yourself events. Waar is dat feestje? Hier is dat feestje. Do-it-yourself death. On the rise. Euthanasia. Euthanasia. Do it yourself. It's on the rise. Do-it-yourself birth. There are no men needed. So I'm outdated as well. So what's the story? Final slide. The story is maker culture is hot. Why? I agree with Raimo over here on this topic. It's real. It's tactile. It's going back to our roots as young people, as children, building stuff with Lego. So jeans are becoming Lego. It's true. Check it out. BioBricks. Jeans are being remixed right now by hundreds of thousands of students across the globe using iGEM, MIT. So genes are Lego blocks. Neurons will become Lego blocks. Check out optogenetics, MIT, at Boyden. And atoms already are. 3D printing, templates, libraries, objects, standardized components. And what is key here, because it's real, this space, instead of bits, it's just fantasy and escapism, to a certain degree. This is real stuff. Gives you more satisfaction. But most importantly, I would like to close off with Shakespeare. We are the stuff that the dreams are made of. Wound up with a big sleep, right? So I invite you. Build your stuff, build your dreams, and build yourself. Thank you.